Archivist for Congregations of Women Religious video tutorial, How to Digitize Photographs, Negatives, and Slides by Catherine Lucy, Director of the Carondelet Consolidated Archive, Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet. What does digitizing mean? Digitizing, or digitization, is the process of converting analog materials, like a hard copy of a photograph, into a digital format. Digitization is as simple as scanning the photograph on a flatbed scanner and then saving the image as a digital file. Digitizing images allows us to preserve the materials for future generations, especially if the original object is deteriorating. You won't have to handle fragile media in the future and can instead use the digital copy. Please remember that digitization does not mean that you discard the original source material. Instead, the digital copy serves as a backup to reduce the handling of the original item and to make it easier to share images electronically via email and social media. You might also want to digitize images in which you no longer have the equipment needed to view them, such as with slides and negatives. Please know there are multiple ways to digitize photos, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we will focus on using a traditional flatbed scanner rather than handheld scanners or mounted professional quality cameras. No matter which type of equipment you select for digitization, it's important that you research the product in advance and choose a scanner that will give you the end result you are looking for. So, if you want to scan to a variety of file types, such as TIFF, JPEG, or PDF, make sure the scanner has those capabilities. Same if you want to change the resolution. 300 ppi, or pixels per inch, is considered a basic resolution, but for digitization purposes, you will probably want to scan to at least 600 ppi. Remember, you want to replicate the original as much as possible, which is why we just don't snap a photo of an existing picture with our cell phone and call it digitization. The scanners shown in this tutorial are Epson photo scanners. Here's an example of some of the scanning settings available on Epson, including document type, image types, and resolution. You will need to determine if you are scanning for access or preservation or both. Access images are those you want to easily share via email or social media. You don't want those files to be too large in size, or you might have technical difficulty sharing them. We recommend saving your access images as JPEG images. Preservation images are your master images, the highest quality reproductions you can make from the original analog image. We recommend saving those as TIFF images. Many cultural heritage institutions recommend a minimum resolution of 300 ppi for access images, or images you might want to share on social media, but then use a higher resolution for your preservation images, the master digital files. Here's an example of an uncompressed TIFF image versus a compressed JPEG image. On the left, you can see how clear and detailed the TIFF image is, as all the data is fully captured during the scanning process. In contrast, the JPEG image on the right is reduced in quality in order to keep the file size small. If you have the space on your server to store large files, then use the highest resolution that your scanner allows for, but we recommend you scan to at least 600 ppi and save as TIFF images for photos. You can always make lower quality derivatives of your preservation copies if you need access copies. When digitizing negatives or slides, it is better to go with higher resolutions for both access and preservation images if you can, because the images are small to begin with, and scanning at a higher resolution allows you to enlarge the digital images without losing any detail. Your scanner software might also allow you to choose an image type, such as 16-bit grayscale or 48-bit color. We recommend using the highest quality option available in order to accommodate more color shades. Before beginning your digitization project, be sure to have all your supplies ready to go. When setting up your scanner, verify that the scanner properties are set for the correct media type you are working with. For example, the scanner might ask you to choose between a reflective or film type of document. Reflective is used for photos and papers, whereas film is used for negatives and slides. The scanner might also come with a special attachment for negatives or slides. They are usually not laid directly onto the flatbed like the photos are. Experiment with your scanner and media types ahead of time so you are prepared. When you're ready to begin your digitization project, first you will need to select the images you want to scan. Then you will place the originals on the scanner and select the appropriate scanner settings. Please note, many flatbed scanners will allow you to scan and save multiple images at a time, as shown on this slide. Line up the photos as best as you can. If the photos are cut crookedly or are mounted to scrapbook or photo album pages, just line them up as straight as possible. You can always edit the images later with photo editing software. After scanning, you will save the image files to your computer, cloud, or external hard drive. Digitization is not without its challenges. You could run into some complications along the way. First, there's user error, such as not setting up your scanner properly. Second, scanning is very time-consuming. The scanner takes longer to scan an image to a TIFF file than it does a JPEG file. Also, large files take up more space on your hard drive or server, and you might have to expand your storage capabilities in the future, which adds an additional cost. Also, it's challenging to move between media types, such as photographs, negatives, and slides, which all have their own nuances. You might want to concentrate on one media type first, such as photographs, then move on to another one, such as slides. And don't forget that many negatives and slides have a side coated with emulsion that makes the image look dull. You will need to place these down on the scanner the correct way in order to correctly reproduce the photo. Otherwise, you will have to flip the images using photo editing software. I hope you have found this tutorial helpful. Thank you to the ACWR Board and Technology Committee for producing these tutorials. You can find more information and resources at the ACWR website, archivistacwr.org.